Welcome to our podcast,
Hi, my name's Grant,
and my name's Bryce.
and here's our podcast on Birmingham and Freedom Summer. Birmingham is a city in Alabama, and Bryce and I are here to talk about what happened of April and May of 1963.
What really happened, Grant?
On April 12th, 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and at least 55 others, almost of all whom were black, were jailed for parading without a permit during a march against segregation in Birmingham, Alabama. The Birmingham Riot of 1963 was a civil disorder and riot in Birmingham, Alabama, that was provoked by bombings on the night of May 11th, 1963. The bombings targeted African American leaders of the Birmingham campaign. In response, local African Americans burned businesses and fought police throughout the downtown area. King's letter dated back to April 16th, 1963, and it responded to several criticisms made by a call for unity. Clergymen who agreed that social justice existed but argued that the battle against racial segregation should be fought solely in the courts, not the streets. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote the letter from Birmingham jail when he was in prison for leading the nonviolent civil rights demonstrations in Alabama in 1963. The letter from Birmingham jail explains why MLK believed that people had a responsibility to follow just laws and a duty to break unjust ones.
Wow. Can't believe our country was like this at the time. Kind of makes me feel guilty,
Yeah, I totally understand, Bryce.
So then, who was Bull Connor?
Bull Connor was an African American politician who served as a commissioner of public safety for the city of Birmingham, Alabama, for more than 2 decades.
But, what did he do?
So basically, Bull Connor enforced legal racial segregation and denied civil rights to black citizens, especially during the 1960s Birmingham campaign. His use of police dogs and fire hoses against peaceful rights protesters brought national attention to the cause. Therefore, the statement could be interpreted as suggesting that Bull Connor's extreme actions helped galvanize and mobilize the civil rights movement, ultimately leading to a positive change.
That's horrible. I have one more question for you, though, Grant. Who were Denise McNair, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson, and Addie McCollins?
The 4 young girls were killed in a racially motivated attack by the Ku Klux Klan against an African American church active on the ongoing civil rights campaign in Birmingham, Alabama.
How old were they when they died?
Addie Mae McCollins, Cynthia Wesley, and Carol Robinson were 14-year-old, and Denise McNair was 11.
So then, what happened to the men or women responsible for their death?
The 4 men responsible for the murders were not charged until 45 years later. 2 of them, Bobby Frank Cherry and Thomas Blanton, are spending the last of their lives in prison. One of them, Robert Chambliss, already died in prison, and the 4th, Herman Cash, died in the mid-1990s before charges could be brought against him.
Wow. This is also horrible. Well, I thank you all for coming on to a part 1 of our podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening.